And to that piece of lieutenant that's always on his podcast, bash us, him.
Ladies and gentlemen, thanks for tuning in. Welcome to Crime and Politics with John McCary. This is brought to you by New York's Finest Retired and Unfiltered podcast. And we have with us today a candidate in the Democratic primary for State Assembly, 40th District, former auxiliary officer, 7 years with the NYPD as an auxiliary officer, Yi Andy Chen. Yi Andy Chen is running against Ron T. Kim. He was a big supporter of Defund the Police, something that we're obviously not fans of on this podcast. We think that it's time to get common sense in New York State Assembly. And, you know, without further ado, I'd like to welcome Andy Chen. Thank you for coming on. Thank you for taking time out.
Thank you, John. Thank you for having me today. It's my pleasure that is really to sharing my platforms, my stories, and this campaign with all of you across New York State.
So Andy, why'd you decide to run? Like, what made you throw your name in the hat to start to run for State Assembly?
And especially we, just like myself and so many out there that really disappointed at the administration under Ron King, that's really putting our community in danger, right? For his representation for last 12 years has really putting this community and every community across New York in a bad ways. And we can't go back into where crime is so damn high, right? And we have seen just 3 days ago, 13-year-old girl got raped, broad daylight in Casino Park, just right on the borderline of my district. Since when we have this kind of craziness in New York State? He's all for defunding the police for years. He voted for the bail reform. He voted for the Clean Slate Act. He's all for legalized prostitution and all those drug use. This is not a common sense. This is not how a New York should be. And we really need to making a change. That's why this campaign is really focused on empowering people with the power and the support they need, and also making a change. And we rejecting anyone like Ron King that is really only promoting those pro-criminal agendas. We need to stop this and once for all.
100%. Ron Kim is a far left advocate. You know, he's voted for defund the police, bail reform. He also says that the NYPD is a white supremacist organization, that they hurt Black and brown communities. What's your message to Ron T. Kim about that?
My first message to Ron King is wrong. And Ron King is not a good representative for this district and anywhere in New York State. And I spoke with over 30,000 voters in my district since we launched this campaign. Anywhere in this district, they say they need more police officers. They need public safety. They need to restore the common sense in this district. So definitely the message this community is saying is we need to get Ron King out of office. So we need to restore the common sense solution and bring in back the common sense.
And for those of you that don't know, Andy's he's actually endorsed by the NYPD. He's endorsed by the PBA. He's endorsed by the DEA. I mean, obviously, you could hear why just by speaking to him. Unfortunately, we see New York City mayor standing up on a podium with Ron Kim the other day, highly disappointed in Eric Adams' decision, a former NYPD officer, to stand alongside someone that's painting the NYPD, his former employer, as a white supremacist organization. I think it couldn't be further from the truth. Andy, you're going out there, you're talking to the people. What are their main concerns? What are their main concerns, and what is your platform? What are you going to do to address those?
I think my top priority would be, number one, of course, we're going to be restoring the public safety in this district. We need to hire more police officers. And just 2 weeks ago, I helping one of my community members to call 911 because her home got break into. And before I called the 911 calls, prior to our call, we have 80 911 calls. So a lot of time, people just blaming our police officers for responding late, for not taking, care of the people. But we gotta understand, 109 precinct is the second largest precinct in whole New York City. And we at that time when I called, we only have 4 police vehicles, 8 officers protecting the second largest of a precinct. That doesn't make any sense. I am committed to fully funding, our law enforcement, having more officers, and also having officers that speaking the language or the dialect that this district need. Second, my priority will be really restoring the quality education in our community. And Ron King is being flip-flopping his position on specialized high school and given talents. And I think this is not wrong. This is totally wrong. And the parents in this district, they stand with specialized high school and quality education for all our children. And third, my priority will be really building affordable homes and senior housings. And I have my track record of working with nonprofit organizations and community-based organizations that pushing for more senior housings. And he is only for homeless shelters, billion dollars to homeless shelters, while our New Yorkers, working class, middle class, retirees, and veterans are still suffering with housing issue, suffering with job opportunities. Just a few years ago, he pushed for a homeless shelter right here in downtown Flushing, wasting our taxpayers' money, $440 million. So telling me $440 million, how many schools can we build? How many senior housing can we build? How many job opportunities that we can promote to give to our New Yorkers, right? And next top priority would be really to developing a workforce development, providing New Yorkers, middle class and working class family with stable income job that comes with benefit and protections. So we're thinking about a lot of time when we're talking about job opportunities, there's no guarantee for that. And what my proposing is really to getting this organizations, company in to providing free job training for the people. Once they finish the job training, then we will making a referral to a job what they can guarantee for at least 2 to 3 years that comes with benefits, including health care, protections. So that way, when we're talking about stable income for the family, they be able to pay their rent, they be able to pay their mortgage and raising their children in New York. So this is some of the top priority that I will do once I get elected to Albany. And plus, before I'm obtaining any official position, I already been working with so many elected officials in different level of the government. So I am ready on day one to do the job. And I understand the issue going on in this community. The last 12 years, I have been, serve on the community board, like you mentioned earlier, the local precinct as a auxiliary officer for 7 years, and also different nonprofit organization advocating for youth development, children with special needs that especially focus on autism, Down syndrome, and advocating for domestic violence survivor and seniors, especially senior that is living alone. That we know we have a lot of seniors nowadays that living just alone, away from their family member and friends. So this is something my focus on when I get into Albany.
Andy, there's a lot of focus. You brought up the brutal, unbelievable rape of a 13-year-old in Casena Park by someone who shouldn't have been in the country. What's your stance on New York State being a sanctuary city, on New York City being a sanctuary city? What's your stance on immigration and border policy?
And I think I am not agree with New York or New York City should be becoming a sanctuary city. Right? While we have more than 500,000 New Yorkers that living here still without housing, still without job, that we need to prioritize our U.S. citizens, New Yorkers, a lot of immigrant families here are still suffering, right? And we can take more than what we be able to handle, and we don't have the capacity for that, right? And we're talking about the migrants, illegal immigrants, and we already have close to 500,000 people that here needing the help. Why are we calling the service for library, right? Just like Ron King seeking the endorsement from mayor of New York City, while he is the one calling 60 millions for public library that, Flushing downtown that is here, Sunday services got cut. Where those family and children going to at Sunday while they relying on the library? So this is something I will not support. I will definitely will work with my colleagues in every level of the government to oppose that. That we prioritize our hardworking New Yorkers first.
Another big thing that we get a lot, we get a lot of stuff about is Asian hate crimes and Jewish hate crimes. What how do you feel? Are you seeing that a lot in your neighborhood, in your district? And what do you think is a common sense solution to bring this down?
Look, be honest, I barely talk about this in public area. That my own mother, she was a victim of a hate crime. During the pandemic 2021, she just go on her day getting her groceries. She got pushed down and her cheek got 6 stitches. When I look at her bleeding out of her cheek, and I feel like, what's going on? This is wrong. This could happen to anybody. I would never imagine that could happen to my own mothers. And I think especially we have to start with, our leaders in every government, stop those, hateful message that dividing our community, picking one community against each other. Then we need to stand with every community, no matter we're facing, Asian hate crime or any hate crime towards our Jewish community. Because a lot of this leader, just like Ron King, he is always picking one community against another each other. As one of the few Asian leaders in Albany, especially in the state assembly, he is not just never stand with the Asian community, but he always picking our community against another each other. And I think that needs to be stopped. And what I will do differently, I will have conversation with leaders from every community. How can we do together that we as a leader to lead that example, telling our community that we need to work together. We need to show each other the respect. We need to have more open data of what we need to do in the future, moving forward in a healthy way of helping our community.
No, I mean that's common sense there. That's absolutely what we need, right? We need more police officers on our street. We need common sense solutions when it comes to anything, when it comes to hate crimes, when it comes to spending in our budget, when it comes to attracting new business. How do you feel New York's been doing on attracting business and residents at this point?
And I think a lot of business still shutting down permanently after pandemic, right? Even a great example in my district, District 40 here, that 3 years ago, Ron King, behind the scene, pushed for this busway, implementing on Main Street from Northern Boulevard all the way to Sanford Avenue. And it's killing a lot of business right here. It's not common sense. And it's not just killing small business right here. So just think about the customers. They will not spend the 40 minutes from Bayside, from Murray Hill, or anywhere come to Flushing, and we don't have any parkings, and they will get fined, get tickets easily, right? From all the way 1.5 miles of Main Street. That's the most business center areas. And we have a lot of seniors are really relying on this area because they're going to see their doctors in these areas. And we're talking about a lot of people with disabled that relying on their family drive them over here. And I think he is not doing enough for our small business developments. And we're also talking about he talked about introducing some resolution, not even a bill, not even a budget, last year to helping with nail salon owners. And we all know he is been flip-flopping on the nail salon bills back in 2015. That's 9 years ago. So what take you?
Ooh, I think we just lost Andy. Andy, if you hear me, if you could jump back
Help,
in. Oh, there you go. We
helping
lost him for 1 second.
Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, you're good now. You're good. Sorry. Oh, you just clicked off, bro. There you go, Andy. You're good. You probably got a call, right?
Yes. Sorry
Yeah.
about that.
No, that's all right.
Yeah,
That's all right.
like I mentioned, it's like always under his administration, he always flip-flopping on what's political convenient for himself.
Yep.
Right? I stood with small business owners for years. I work with Flashing Big over here. I work with Queen Chamber of Commerce. You know, during the pandemic, a lot of business, especially business owners right here, they don't speak the language. Mostly coming from the immigrant backgrounds. They don't know how to access to those resources and funding. Just because of that, they did not get the funding to help their business to succeed or go in the long way until today. So I think this is disgraceful that, you know, as a state representative, they're not really helping or boosting the local economy. And, you know, with that, they can having more jobs, you know, having more local, you know, workers in our community. He did not do that. He failed us. He failed this small business in our district or anywhere across New York.
We touched on it real quick, but Ron Kim supports abolishing the NYPD's vice unit, which goes after illegal prostitution, gambling, the sale of alcohol, the illegal sale of alcohol, things of that nature. He wants to do this because he supports sex trafficking and he believes that prostitution should be legal. Excuse me. He doesn't come out and say he supports sex trafficking, but he believes that sex work should be legal, prostitution. But we know, and it's been proven, that sex work is directly related to sex trafficking. What's your message about that to the people of Queens? That like this is it's honestly, it's insanity to me. How do you feel about that?
It's totally wrong. It's totally wrong. People do not, especially people from this district or in Queens, they do not support legalized prostitution. Right? First of all, he all talking about, you know, abolishing the advice from NYPD, you know, need to legalize prostitution. And he's so-called doing that by helping these people making income, right? These people are coming from, you know, coming from the immigrant families or, you know, immigrant background, they need income. Why don't you help these people if you think they need a job? Not by legalized prostitution. Just two weeks ago, we have two, I would say, sex worker by 162nd Street in Northern Broadway got raped by migrant. And we're talking about this. Just imagine our sisters, cousins, or any female, if they just by simply standing on the street and those perpetrators are misunderstand, they are one of them, we can't imagine what will happen to our family members and our friends. So this is not how we should be. And by over here, Main Street and 40 Road, we have a little red light district right here. And even just right on 40 Road, we have a nightclub buildings. They do not want this. And every children's young people pass by all asking their parents what these people standing on the street doing, and how are we going to explain to our children what these people doing out here? This is not the way of helping people. If he's so-called, you know, cracking down human trafficking, this is just an excuse for himself to legalize the prostitution.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's a demoralization of society. I think that it lowers the quality of life in our communities. And you're 100% right. It actually demoralizes our children and sexualizes them early. And they see things that we steal their innocence. We rob them from their innocence. There's been a controversial issue going around now in New York. Obviously, we had a lot of crime. We've got a lot of crime stemming from illegal immigration, stemming from people wearing masks. We've had these nightly protests every night by masked individuals who've been committing crime. In state assembly now, Mike Riley has just put up a bill. He's a state assemblyman in Staten Island. He's a former NYPD lieutenant. His bill is to make masks illegal when it comes to protest, things of that nature. You're not allowed to actually wear a mask in groups. What are your feelings on that? Is that something that you would support? What are your thoughts around that?
And I think I would support something like that. Not just shouldn't be wearing a mask. I might be honest. Look, as common sense as it can be, if you really truly believe and support something that you protesting, be open on yourself, telling people you're proud of it. Don't hiding behind the scene, right? If I'm posting against anything I am not agree with, I show my face in front of the line, say I do not agree with this. I'm not hiding behind the mask, and this is also putting the public safety and quality of life in dangers, and not just we should ban that mask wearing in the protest. We should ban that including in any government buildings, in schools. So how do we know if there's a perpetrator wearing a mask entering our public schools and putting our children in dangers? How do we know if there's a perpetrator wearing a mask entering a government building? That is really going to hurt our people. So I think we need to stop that, and once for all, that really we need to waken out every level of the government that elected official join in force to do that.
No, it's brilliant. I love it. Listen, is there anything that we missed? Is there anything you want to add? Message to the voters? I know you're out there. The primary's busy. I know you're attending all the polling sites. What do you want to tell the people of your district, 40th State Assembly District in New York?
And I think not just for District 40 voters, but all the voters out there and people out there, that we have to really making a change to state of New York. And we are seeing all this issue going on. I keep repeating every election cycle. We cannot, and I be honest, I've been telling my voters all the time. I want them not just to believe what I say and what I have on my pamphlet. It's all about doing research about what we have done in the past to stand out for the people, to advocate for public safety. We can't just rely on some pictures. Because Ron King now, he putting all these pictures with police officers, while he call himself stand with police officer for 12 years. I'm like, come on, stop it. He started to call for defunding the police since 2017. Until last year, he knew he's about to losing this re-election and saying he stood with our police officers. He understands public safety. If he really understands public safety, he will not call for abolish NYPD, defunding police, or legalize prostitution. Voted for the clean slate and bail reform. And we know this election is really all about people's power. It's all about rejecting the career politicians of special interests. And I am here really to advocate for people's voice. And I just like a lot of people out there, we know go against incumbent is always an uphill battle. But we know here that we do the right thing, that we stand with the people, that really to making a change in New York State. We need to open the dialogue to restoring more common sense. As we've seen for last decades, New York State, we lost common sense. We lost common sense. A lot of people left New York, right? Well, a lot of people refused to vote. A lot of people refuse to get engaged with political process just because they feel like their voice not being heard. Their voice not being heard in their decision-making process in our government. And I think it all has to do to electing more common sense candidate to every level of the government. Then we can moving forward to really bring New York into the right way. And I think as long as we have the people's support by this June 25th, we're going to make changes for District 40 and every New Yorker's across New York State.
It's beautiful. Listen, where could we go to follow you? Where could we go to donate to your campaign and keep up with everything, all the great work that you're doing?
Yes, you can follow me over Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter, X now, at Yi Andy Chen. That's YIANDY Chen. We need all your help. If anyone is out there that listening to this podcast right now, we need your help to do this. We need your help. If you can chip in even a couple of dollars to help with this campaign, or help with volunteer for our campaign, couple of hours over the website, or please spreading my campaign with friends and neighbors that every vote that is going to make difference of this campaign.
Ladies and gentlemen, here's a man who spent 7 years volunteering, putting a uniform on for the NYPD to go out there and serve his community. He's continuing to do that now. Like he pointed out, his opponent, Ron T. Kim, is now all of a sudden pretending to support the police when he called for defunding them and abolishing certain units. I mean, I heard it here. I haven't spoke to Andy Chen prior to this. This is common sense. This is something I support. And this is a local election. While we're all hopped up and worried about presidential elections, these are the elections that affect you the most. So get out there, vote Andy Chen in the Democratic primary. Get radicals like Ron T. Kim out of New York politics. Make them go find real work and common sense. Andy Chen, any last words before we go?
Thank you so much. I just heard great slogan from one of my voters. Let's flash Ron King out of flashing.
Let's do it. Ladies and gentlemen, the great and powerful Yi Andy Chen.
Law enforcement professionals dedicate their lives to serving and protecting our community. But who's protecting their financial futures? That's where Laidlaw Blue comes in. Our wealth management platform is specifically designed for the law enforcement community. Laidlaw Blue is a division within Laidlaw Wealth Management, run by retired New York City detective John McDermott. His status as a retired detective uniquely positions him to establish a deep connection between Laidlaw Blue and the law enforcement community. Our platform is easy to use and provides a range of financial services, including investment management, retirement planning, and insurance solutions. With Laidlaw Blue, you can secure your financial future and provide for your loved ones. Our team of experienced financial advisors understands the unique challenges and opportunities that law enforcement professionals face. We're here to help you navigate the complexities of financial planning and achieve your goals. Laidlaw Blue. Secure your financial future today. Book a meeting using the QR code displayed or call us directly on 888 901 Blue. That's 888 901 Blue.